part 2 of functions in PHP 7. So we are gonna move on to variable parameter list, the variable param list. So this function cannot be called with a fewer arguments that is specified in its declaration. But it may be called with more arguments if necessary. So if you are getting one type of argument at a time, that means you should use the function called funcGetArg function. The funcGetArg function means that this function takes a single argument, which is the parameter to be returned back. Returned back, starting with 0. I'll show you this example. So let's see. Let's say function. So we gotta use this. Let's do function my args, and let's do something like this. So it says return back starting with 0. So let's assume you guys have a variable a, and we use the function funcGetArg, which we start from 0, and we get a variable b, variable c, okay, so we just use a function funcGetArg, and then we have to print it out. So we say a dot value b and c. But later we just want to say what we want to print. So after this function ends, you are gonna call this function. So you say my args, you say me, I don't know, me, my, I don't know, I'm just, so what this will print out, it will combine all these 3 strings into like this. Let's Control S or Command S to save and reload. This is not a D. It will print out this. Me, my. That's the variable parameter list. The parameter list. Also, this variable parameter list has 2 more functions again, which are the funcNumArgs. This one, the funcNumArgs, which gets the number of arguments passed, and the second one will be this one, the funcGetArgs. The second one will be the funcGetArgs, which returns an array by containing all of those arguments. So I'll show you guys an example with these two new functions. So assume we have function my args, so we have one, so two, and let's declare a variable. Let's see if we are using num arg, so we can call it as variable num, and we can call it as func num args. Call it args. Next, we are gonna use a for loop. If you guys don't know how to use a for loop, you can check out my loops in PHP 7 tutorial. So we have to use a for loop. So variable x equals 0, less than num, x plus plus, and equal args will be x. Next, we want to call the function, so we say my args, so it can print out onto our screen. Let's put this again. Done. See, it's printing out the same thing. We can comment this out so you guys can see. There you go. This is another different way to do it. Alright. Let's comment this. Next, we gotta learn about return statement. I think it's common sense already for return statement, but we'll go and I'll see. Return statements. Return statements. So a return is a jump statement that causes the function to end. That means it won't execute. For example, we got a function my func, and when you guys write return and then put echo, let's say hello, and save it, you guys won't see nothing because this return will exit the function first, and the echo hello will never execute. Yep. But if you guys put echo outside this, it will execute. See, it will ignore all this and it will execute because it's out of the function. Like this, it won't execute because you're exiting function first. Next, I hope you guys understand that. Straightforward. So next, we gotta do scope and lifetime. The scope and lifetimes. Okay, so in PHP, variable scope starts where that is declared and lasts until the end of the page, right? However, a local function scope is introduced within functions. So by default, any variables can be used inside a function that is limited to these local scopes, right? Once the scope of the function ends, the local variable is destroyed. For example, You got a variable s, and you say hello, right? This is a global variable. And then when you create a function, you say myfunc, and you say variable z, and then you say world. This is a local variables. Excuse me. Okay. So like an overall in programming, just try not to use global variables that much. Okay, so when you are trying to, so this is the global variable part because before the function, and this is the local variable. But trying to access a global variable from a function does not work, and is instead creates a new local variable. In order to make a global variable accessible, the scope of that variable must be extended to the function by declaring it with the global keyword. So when you want to access the global variable, basically you can do variable x, you can say hello, this is the global x. And then you gotta use the global keyboard. Use global x. Next you use x dot value. Well, no, not a dot value. This will change the global x. Yeah, this is the way. But there is also an alternative way to do this, to access variables from the global scope, is by using the predefined globals array. The variable is referenced by its name, specified as a string without a dollar sign. Yes, so you can do something like this. Function myfunc. You use the global keyboard, and you say x dot equals world. This will change the global x. Change the global x. Next, I think I'm gonna move this to a part 3, guys. So I will see you guys onto the part 3 series.